Ana slow, Ana's one shot. Nice, Mercy.
Hi everyone, I'm PirateWalnut, I'm a GM Mercy, and here's how I control games as Mercy. Season 7 has just started and games have been interesting, mostly because I've been ill for the past 2 weeks. You may see that this game has already started as I did not play Mercy on round 1, but if you want a summary of the round. Anyways, we're on control, and as Mercy, you should always speed boost out of spawn, then swap back to Mercy so you can get the point quicker. This is vital on all control maps, and this concept should be done on characters like Kiriko as well. With my Sojourn in spawn after TPing, I'll be pocketing Soldier until she arrives. They are running a Sombra junk, so all I need to do is the simple do not be seen by no one tactic, which is really easy for Overwatch players since we don't see our families for weeks at a time. We're up in numbers, and frankly, we should be focusing more on points since Sombra and Mercy are frolicking in the fields. Unfortunately, I was sick and couldn't call for my soldier to engage on people on point, and because of it, I have to stay with him and hope LW can keep the rest of the team up, but learn from my team's mistake and make better decisions. Unfortunately, we lose Winston and we have to give point and back up. I hear Sombra attacking Lifeweaver, so I fly back to peel. I see Sojourn falling back, so I fall back with her. Luckily, Zarya is in charge and Lifeweaver can save me. This res is not really good and is very low impact, plus it makes my Winston die, which leads to another fight loss and we have to back up again. We now have a Zarya, which means we will be playing a bit slower. A bit better for me, honestly. With the team back, I push with Sojourn and I feel comfortable too since I have Valk to reach the other side if needed. Unfortunately, we lose Zarya as I trust Tree would keep them up, but global warming nerfed the tree. Sojourn is still pushing, and while I back up in preparation if Soj dies, Sojourn ults and I take the risk and ult to damage boost him, which confirms a kill. I quickly shift my focus onto Sojourn as she slides into the enemy. As long as I hold my mouse buttons on Sojourn, we are bound to win the fight eventually. I go through the window to get out of LOS and start creating distance if the enemy may retaliate, and yeah. I feel like beam to Lifeweaver to stabilize, then flick the Soldier, then once he gets pulled out, I go back to Sojourn and quickly finish the fight. Soldier dies and I ping the res, but I should have waited for Junk to stop swimming in the corner before resing. Luckily, my Zarya looks at me like a child on a leash and bubbles me. They swap from Zarya to Doom, so I have to track his cooldowns to not get caught out. Sombra hatched Soldier, and I pull out my pistol when I definitely could just beam him. To be honest, I think my sickness put red in my eyes, and I don't recommend this play. Doom is inside, and in order to get out without getting punched, I use the wall to GA around. I don't know why I'm tunnel visioning on Soldier when I could just fly to Sojourn. Maybe it's time for me to get medicated. I pop into point to stall, and I should have just trusted Soj to touch because of how risky this was. I hug the wall and I lose my Lifeweaver. I know Doom will be coming, so I go towards window, but an ugly moth chases me. While I could panic and try to pistol back, I use a revolutionary technique called ignoring and healing, especially with Mercy's passive. You can take some serious damage as long as your team is also taking damage, and thankfully my team dealt with the ugly. We do lose point, but with our tank and support back, we have a pretty good shot at flipping point. I res once Orisa is stable. I definitely did not need the GA and could have stayed near the pillar to tip the Soldier, and I am the reason why he dies, but I know Mercies who would clip the backwards GA in their montage, so maybe I need to make one too. We are approaching what could be OT, and I need to keep Orisa up so we don't have to stall, so I'm focusing on stabilizing her so Soldier can come back. With Tree placed, I can push damage boost harder, and with Sombra attacking Lifeweaver, I get the final ult charge I need and Valk. Unfortunately, my Orisa takes a swim after Wii Sports Resort jousting Junkrat off the map, so I need to stall with Valk. I could have pistoled Mercy, but Sojourn was still an ult, and I personally did not want to risk her dying since I would not be able to res because of point. Definitely think it was the right choice as she rested in front of a live studio audience and my team swiftly clears point. While we finish out this fight, I'm here to announce that fewer VOD reviews are coming back next week. While I already have footage for next week's video, if you want to potentially have your gameplay reviewed, make sure you are subbed and have post notifications on for more info next week. A good habit that you should adapt is looking at other places besides your beam target. Unless your beam target is taking damage or there is something you should be scared of, you should look at other teammates or other angles to gather more info. I mainly look at my other members until Sombra appears just so I can cover Sojourn if Sombra hits virus on her. I panicked, especially with Moira Orb and Sombra on me. Again, I should have just stayed behind Pillar because I wouldn't have been punched by Doom here. Luckily, my Life Weaver is just better. This super jump is pretty bad, especially in front of Sombra, but the real problem is Junkrat out of nowhere going balls deep in me and I explode. As I'm getting back to point, it's just like last stall fight. I need to keep Orisa up before the DPS come back. I latch beam onto Orisa and use the pillar to LOS the Doom, then fly to Life Weaver to get back to my DPS. I use this wall to beam Soldier, then fall back to bridge the Pocket Sojourn until I get Valk. Once I Valk, I ping pong between Orisa and Sojourn. I should have just latched onto Orisa instead of GAing, so I could stay with Sojourn, which leads me to pistoling, which we all know what happens when I pistol, and we lose too. Luckily I have res in the team C9s, a messy round, but I still put my impact. You know what also puts impact? Hitting the subscribe button, as it tells me you enjoy the content and that I'm slightly funny. Especially on night market, many teams love to run sim, so speed boosting is crucial in order to make sure your TP gets there first. TPing the point is very risky as Mercy, but my whole team is going, so I have to. I hold the wall just so I can get the cover very quickly, then I can mindlessly beam Soldier. The main position you should hold is the edges of point, as you can beam everyone with relative ease and safety with the use of the windows. I took a quicker route to get the Soldier, which is fine since the enemy was farther back, but as the fight progresses and the enemy takes more space, I need to use the outskirts to reach my team. Always assess if taking the quicker option is better than a safe one. I super jump to this high ground and I melee TP to destroy any turrets that may go through it. I see an opportunity for a TikTok clip, so I pistol Sim to quickly get her. Sim is a free res, so I go for it as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we lose Soldier to a good nade, and without a ranged DPS, the enemy puts their pressure freely with Ant Matrix and we lose the fight. In this scenario, it's best to just damage boost and die quickly if you can't get out. With Life Weaver below, I'm okay to pocket Soldier on high ground.
Got one.
With the pick, I Valk to push our advantage and show that ugly moth how to pistol someone.
Nice, Mercy.
We use more ults than we should, but at the end of the day, if you win the fight, it is not as bad.
Big Mercy. That's the fuck.
I am trying to keep my distance from my team, and to be honest, this spot is not the best for most comps, but with the Junk Sombra, it is fine. I would recommend playing more towards the left just so you aren't out naked and afraid.
They got Zarya.
While I get hit by EMP, I am far enough away to stay unnoticed and can stay with Soldier during his visor. Playing distance like this can be very easy with good habits and can help you survive so many things with just a simple S key. Yeah, I know it isn't a fun playstyle, but I would rather be able to play the game than be in Respawn Simulator.
Come on, Zarya. Nice. Come on, Anna. Ah, good shit.
Now in this scenario with the enemy coming back, it's good to check your team's ult charge and check for anyone you could boost to help get ult charge. Seeing my Zarya coast the grab, my damage booster says she can get grab for the next fight. Damage boost has other purposes besides just boosting damage, and this is one of them. You have grab now because of this, but you can do this for any character, especially if you need to get D.Va her mech. Instead of playing closer to Soldier, I play here to make distance and more flight paths. I'm expecting Ryan to charge at me, so I quickly G8 the statue.
Careful. Zarya.
Zarya pushes up the grab with Ryan's shield down, so I practice support, but she can't get immortality. While I don't recommend doing this play all the time, I fly up to get immortality for her. While I do lose Sim, I can res and we confirm the kill on BAP.
Jump point.
Okay. Jump this one.
I fly back to Soldier, and I should have just held damage boost on him instead of looking for another TikTok clip.
Lay one.
Big. Hey, let's push this on her. A little bit.
Soldier is asleep, and I should not be beaming him, especially once he gets antied. Thankfully, Life Weaver got me. While I move towards point, I make sure to damage boost Zarya so I can get Valk. Once I get to Sim, I go to Zarya to stabilize her as she goes to point. I play outside of point just so I can stay safe. Especially with the beam link, I can keep LOS through using the windows.
Go.
I think Summer Ashi is alone, but I finish the job as Soldier dies, then rest behind the wall.
Nice.
Then just a simple M2, and the game is done. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support, and this time I'm going to be aiming for 2K subs by the end of the year. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to like and comment, and until next time, bye bye!
Hey, GG's. Holy shit. Massive mercy.